Thanks for staying with us. So in the past 2 weeks, we've been discussing the issue of the young boy who died as a result of bullying by his colleagues in school. But one of the angles we're yet to talk about is the part of the parent, being a parent of a bully, and how we can talk to each other or help each other when you know your child is a bully, especially when your child is bullying others to the point where they are bedridden or they've been severely injured. So you know, in fact, in worst case, now killed.
I believe that if a parent, mother, father, find themselves in a situation where their child has done something as gruesome as being involved in the bullying of a child that probably led to his death, the first response would always be to love the child, not what the child did. We must acknowledge that they've done something wrong. So many times our tendency is to shield our children, protect them. I don't want whatever is going to happen, let me hide my child somewhere. Monkey no fine, my man like him. My child is not a killer. He's not a killer. It must have been a mistake. Something happened. We want to deny. My first is don't deny. Something wrong has happened. Healing comes from taking ownership of what has gone wrong. So somewhere along the line, somebody within the family dropped the ball in monitoring the child, because every child comes to us plain. Professor always said that every adult is a report card on the parenting and the society. So if that child is not just about the parents alone, the society contributed to the child becoming a bully, and here we are.
I personally believe that bullies are made at home. They are raised by parents. And the wisdom that adulthood gives you, that maturity gives you, where you somehow tamper some of your excesses, you understand it, you know how to. A child does not have them. A child just uses it and just becomes that. So we have parents who, when they're speaking to each other or they're speaking to their friends, they are so loud and rude. You know that this, in any other setting, it would be outright bullying. And the child is listening. You're on the phone, you're talking to your domestic staff or to your colleagues or to your friends, or you're telling about something, that how you handle something. And I showed her. Did you see me? The child is like, oh, okay, that's what. That is where we are the ones that create bullies.
The cases where these children are, children are children. I'm talking about less than 16-year-old kids. They're still building their personalities, and they are easily influenced by their peers. So your child as a very quiet, shy person, and someone got swamped or got swallowed into this group of people that, for him, it was his way of becoming an accepted, cool guy with his colleagues. So it's not his intention. Unfortunately, he participated in this, and now he's in trouble. And as a mother, that is not who he truly is. A woman in that situation, it's so hard for her to accept that this child might end up going to jail. So how does a mother or a father help a child who might end up paying for their crime?
There's no way you can reason it out, as far as I'm concerned. Because I totally agree, I'm 100% on Mariam's page. Take the responsibility. Your child ends up like that, you are the first person to take the responsibility. It's your fault. That child was trained by you, watched you, and it's the example that you showed to him. So, maybe if your child is going to jail, you yourself can give yourself jail sentence, because it's your fault that child ended up like that.
We are, as I said, we're a communal society where what people say sometimes always matters to us. So your child has been accused of bullying, or is a bully in school, to the point where a child might have been injured or severely injured or possibly even killed. And as a parent, you're trying to manage the child's emotions and also external factors, the grandparents, the extended family, the influence, everybody trying to be part of this conversation. So the real question is, how does a parent handle not just the child, but also the external factors concerning that child?
I think what's most important is the child. And I think that sometimes we just need to focus on, it's not what everybody will say. And I know what they're saying is important. But when you're in the time of crisis, it's important that you let that child understand you care about the child. Because the standard parenting style here is we abandon children that have not followed the rules. So your child gets pregnant, you say, go, leave my house with pregnancy. Your child goes to prison, you say, I'm never going to see you again, you're no longer my child. So the idea of abandonment is usually a forced response, and it is not a successful response, because sadly, our correctional facilities are not correctional facilities. The rate of recidivism, which is the ability of people going to prison and going back to prison, is very high, because we don't get corrected, they get worse. So it's important, if a parent finds him or herself with a child that has committed crime and is now being remanded or in prison or being interrogated, don't abandon that child. That's when they need you the most. So it might require you to be extra strong, but you must stand in gap for that child. And I've seen in most cases the stories we hear online where people get into prison or they get into crisis, everybody leaves them alone, and then they are now embraced by the criminals.
I don't totally agree with you that parents tend to just abandon a child when they find themselves in a sticky situation like that. I think parents usually stand in and try to find a way to stop to shield the child from actually taking the responsibility that the child needs to take in, especially if you have some influence. You know, we know people, we know who to call, those sort of things. So we constantly shield children from taking responsibilities for their action to the point where they'll do something really big and you have run out of your circle of influence and people that you can call. So it's important from when it is small, whatever the consequences of their actions are, that they face them before you have something as big as this.